I want to recognize these three coaches: Billy Napier at Florida, Dave Aranda at Baylor, and Shane Beamer at South Carolina. All three of these guys were on the quote unquote hot seat talks as they entered into this season, and all of them have done a phenomenal job and have coached themselves off of the hot seat talks. We've already seen Billy Napier get called back for next season. It's likely that Aranda and definitely Shane Beamer is not going anywhere after the performance that he's done this year with his team. So Billy Napier him and Aranda were probably the two hottest of all the coaches. But Billy Napier entering in the season with the hardest schedule in the country by a mile. No one really gave him a shot to even finish the season. And he's now turned his team around and has such fantastic buy-in from his team. They had just upset LSU, and they're 10-point dogs to Ole Miss at home. And then they got Florida State. They already have 5 wins. They can easily be bowling by the end of this year. They need 1 win to be bowling, and they could certainly get that. They might be able to get 2 wins. And the momentum that they'll be able to have off of this season from Billy Napier with DJ Lagway behind center, their future is going to be looking a little brighter. Now they have a hard schedule next year, but what he's been able to do with this team and getting this team to have buy-in when there was just so much turmoil and adversity going into the year and then through the year has been impressive. Dave Aranda did not think he was going to make it this far. He might have had the hottest seat of them all. And they have 6 wins right now. They could be 8-4 by the end of this year. They're 5th in the Big 12. Like, they're not in contention really unless major chaos happens to be in the Big 12 Conference Championship game. But they were projected to be at the bottom of the Big 12, and they could end up 8-4. So what he's done has been awesome as well, especially with how little hope that he had going into the season. Like, they'll likely bring Dave Aranda back as well. And then finally, Shane Beamer. This is a team that everyone's talking about being like, oh, you don't want to play South Carolina right now. That's crazy. Like, they did not have these expectations, or at least the public did not have these expectations for South Carolina going into the season. They had high hopes for Lenora Sellers, but he was unproven, and he looked like he was not going to be able to throw the ball very well, which still is the case for a lot of the games. But he's starting to come around and be a real dual threat quarterback, and this team is dangerous. They have, for my money, they're like the top 3 best defensive lines in the country. Like, I would put them up there with Ole Miss maybe. Like, those are maybe my top 2 D lines in the country. Like, they are right there. They'll get after you, and they are very dangerous. And they could end up like squeaking their way into the playoff. It's a very, very big long shot, but at the very least, it's been really impressive what Shane Beamer has done with this program in this season. And they have a chance to knock off Clemson at the end of the year to, number 1, be state champs. And that goes a long way in the state of South Carolina. Also will prove that maybe the SEC is deeper than maybe many people thought. With that win, and they can prove to be emphatic and really help with recruiting moving forward. So just wanted to give credit to these 3 coaches. They've done a phenomenal job this year, and all 3 of themselves have coached themselves off of the hot seat, which is not easy to do. So credit to all 3 of them. Follow Big Body Ball CFB on all socials.